Hello, this is Julia Crocker, and I'm here with Julie Delphos. She is a sophomore at University of New England and is a med bio major. Julie, could you identify a time that you saw something that you thought was beautiful in your opinion?
Yes, so actually, this past weekend, I went to Boston, and what I thought was beautiful was just like no matter where I was, it just seemed like there was like people like always like either smiling at you or like making eye contact with you. So I thought that it was kind of beautiful how like even though we're strangers, we could still like have like a little bit of connection just because like we're in Boston, it's like our home city.
Can you describe it? Was there a certain person or stranger that really stood out to you?
Yeah, so I was walking down the street and like we were in the park and there was this guy with a camera and like he didn't really seem like the type of guy that I would like typically strike up a conversation with, but then we just like started talking and like bonding over like the dogs playing and then just like talking about our days and like the memorial that was like being presented. So I thought it was just like really beautiful that like we could have that conversation and bond and then like probably never see each other again.
Did you have any specific like emotions that day? Were you having a good day? Were you having a bad day?
It was a good day. Like I was with my best friend and we were just like I don't know, I wasn't like overly thrilled about anything, but it was kind of just like an average day, just like going for a walk, and it was like nice out too. So I was in a pretty good mood.
Mhm. Were there any other things that might have contributed to your mood? Like, what was it? Was it like a sunny day? Did the
It was actually like it had rained the day before, like poured, so it was kind of like the day after like a nor'easter storm thing. So there's like leaves everywhere, but like honestly, those are my favorite days. And then like there was a Holocaust like memorial with like these like really like sharp pictures of people who had like been in the Holocaust and like descriptions. So I was kind of like in not like a happy mood, but like not like sad. It was kind of just like in awe. And then to like have that conversation with someone just like kind of made me realize that even though there's like these really negative things around, like you kind of sometimes still have to like look for the positives and like the beauty with people.
what is it like to reflect back on this moment?
It's actually really nice because it like puts it more into perspective, like how much it meant to me, rather than just like going about it and just forgetting that it happened. And like being able to like recognize that it was beautiful is a good thing.
Would you consider this combination of the museum, the memorial, and then the people, the interactions you had? Do you think this is a kind of art too?
I guess it could be an art, yeah, like the art of like human interaction, I guess.
Why do you say that?
Because it's like I don't know, like I think that people have like their different perspectives and like are more open to have conversations. So I think that it is kind of an art in the sense that like you make it how you want it to be, I guess. Like if you don't want to look for conversations and you want to be like really pessimistic, then like that's how you're gonna live your life. But if you want to actually like try and like create these like good memories, then you actually have to like go out and kind of let them come for you or like seek for them.
Do you think that these things come naturally, or do you think that if we go out and look for them, we find them more easily?
I think that it's kind of a combination of both. Like I think you have to be open for them to happen naturally. Like you have to like let yourself be accepting of these situations because like I could have just like looked at the man and just like gave him a straight face and not wanted to have a conversation but like smiled like then just like started talking about like the dogs whatever, so like I was like open to it. But like if you're closed off then no one's gonna really want to have a conversation.
Do you think that these encounters would have affected you the same way if you were having a different kind of day?
Probably. Like I think that when I have like bad days I kind of just like don't look around at people and like don't observe my settings. So I would probably have just not shut him out, but it just wouldn't have ever happened.
You make it a point to smile at people that you encounter?
I think if I make eye contact with them, but I don't just like randomly do it if they're not looking at me. Mm-hmm. But I feel like I should do it more and just like be more open to it instead of just like waiting for them to make eye contact.
Mm-hmm. Do you think this is kind of like a ripple effect? Like one thing leads to another, like one person takes the happiness and
I think so. Like I don't know what kind of day he was having, so like he could have been having like the worst day of his life. And maybe after like our little chat he could have like continued on with his day like as normal, or maybe it made him like more friendly to go have like another conversation with somebody else. I guess you don't really know what people are going through.
This next question is kind of different, but it says do you think that beauty matters on a large scale?
I think so. What do you mean by like large scale? Like,
do you think that if your encounters with these people, if you didn't have this kind of beauty, do you think it would affect you in a different way?
I think probably not. Like, I feel like it's more small scale because like it's kind of just like the little things that kind of keep you going, but like large scale. Well, I guess if it keeps me going, then it would be large scale. So yeah, I think it would affect you in large scale because like they like kind of add up and just like keep you going as a person. So I think it would matter.
Interesting. Do you have any final thoughts that you would like to share?
I think I'm all set.
All right. Well, thank you so much for doing this interview with me today.
No problem.